Alright folks, today we're comparing the DJI RS2 against the Ronin 4D. But what if you already own the RS2 with a camera system? Should you then invest in the Ronin 4D and the system that goes with it? What is the difference between these two gimbals? Which one are more stable? We're gonna take these out on the streets to see a real-world comparison between these two so that you can get a better understanding of what the difference is when you're buying into the ecosystem of the Ronin 4D compared to a normal RS2 setup. First off, let's talk price between these two, because when you first see these on the website, there's a massive difference. The Ronin 4D is nearly 7 grand, where the RS2 combo version is $1,000. But I don't think it's fair to compare like this. We have to compare them fully rigged out in the way that we use them with camera and everything. So let's first take a look at the RS2 with my BS1H setup, with everything I have on this, all the accessories stacked together will add up to let me see, $7,220 for everything you see on this gimbal. If we take that and look at the Ronin 4D, this system right here will cost you $8,500. So there's a slight difference of $1,280 between these two systems. So as you can see, the price difference between these two, once you get this fully stacked, isn't that big. When we're talking gimbal modes, there is a difference between these two because you don't have any of the creative modes you might be used to on newer gimbals. On the Ronin 4D, you have pan follow, you pan tilt follow, you got lock mode, and you also have the POV mode and nothing else. On the RS2, you have those 4 modes, and then you have the creative modes such as time lapse, and you have the portrait mode, and you also have the 360 barrel roll mode. Those modes you don't have on the Ronin 4D. On the Ronin 4D, you get a 4-axis gimbal stabilization where the head comes up. So this one measures the distance to the ground and will stabilize that for you. Don't get that in the RS2. That is why you have to stabilize the Z-axis yourself. But if you take a look at the gimbal head here, you can see this one has dual tilt motors. So this is a 4-point system compared to our RS2, which has this L shape, which is a 3-point motor system. So this one has to hold everything up on one side, where this one, you don't get that side force on the gimbal because it has these dual motors. So stability wise, the Ronin 4D should be better than the RS2, but we'll take a look at that when we go out and shoot with these two gimbals. Alright, let's start with the follow shot, and we're taking a look at the Ronin 4D, and here you can see how that 4th axis is just working for us. When we take a look at this shot, there's no movement at all. It's just buttery smooth. The only thing moving is me and Helene. And if we take a look at how I'm walking, I'm not doing any effort. The gimbal is stabilizing everything for us. Compare this to the RS2, I'm really focused on the shot, heel toe, heel toe. And the shot is good, but we have some slight movements, even though I'm doing all I can to stabilize the Z-axis. Here are the two shots side by side, ungraded, and this is how it looks when it comes straight out the camera. Next up is the trucking shot, and this is where we are pointing the camera 90 degrees to the side and I'm walking forward. You can see the gimbal is doing its work and my posture is nice and upright. And when I'm walking forward with the Ronin 4D, I'm not doing any effort at all. I'm just walking comfortably forward, tracking our subject. And this is the shot, but notice the bricks on the ceiling. There's no up and down movement at all. It's just dead straight. And if we compare this to the RS2, you can see I'm turning the gimbal 90 degrees. But you can see I have to adjust it a bit lower than I really wanted to. And when we look at the shot here, you can see the bricks are moving a bit up and down, and we could probably solve this in post by stabilizing it. But the thing is that I'm using a lot of force holding that gimbal lower than I wanted to. So it's not as comfortable for me walking with this setup compared to the Ronin 4D. And when you see them here side by side, you can see there's a bit more movement on the RS2 shot that we don't have on the Ronin 4D. Let's move on with the crane shot, and this is where we're basically just taking the gimbal, moving from down low to up high. And with the Ronin 4D, it looks pretty dope. You can't not see that this isn't a crane. It's buttery smooth all the way up. And I'm basically just holding the top handle, handing myself the gimbal, letting go of it, and you cannot see that this is how it's done. If we're taking the DJI RS2, you can see I'm holding the back handle and the tripod, creating that jib movement all the way up. And it actually looks pretty decent when we take a look at the shot here. There isn't that much movement outside of the frame. We could easily just smooth it out with stabilization. Here the shots side by side, so you can determine by yourself which one you think looks the best. Here we go with the Parallax. It's a bit more technical, this one. With the Ronin 4D, you can see that the gimbal is stabilizing it. It's nice and smooth. I can keep her in the center without any problems. And when you take a look at me, you can see I have a nice posture. My back is straight and the gimbal is doing its work stabilizing that shot. Compare this to the RS2, where I'm a bit more rounded on my shoulders, not having that great of a posture, keeping the gimbal also close but slightly angled. This is the shot from the RS2, not as good as on the Ronin 4D. There's some movement in there that I do not like. But if this was for a client, I would probably shoot it a couple of times, try to adjust my settings a bit more, and then of course stabilize it in post so it will be perfectly. And when we see these side by side, there's a clearly winner. The DJI Ronin 4D is much better at stabilizing this shot. Lastly, let's take a look at the movement shot, and this is where I'm just moving freely around our subject, changing camera height, changing angles. So see if you can see which one of these two clips is the Ronin 4D and which one is the DJI RS2. Alright, there you have it. That's the two clips. The first one was the DJI RS2 with the BS1H, and the second one was the Ronin 4D. Tell me if you can see the difference and what you think about the comparison of these two gimbals. So there's one thing that I really miss on the Ronin 4D, and that is the ability to customize the settings a bit more. On the Ronin 4D, I can customize the gimbal settings, the follow speed, but for all of the axes at once. When the DJI RS2, I can go in and I can customize the different settings for each axis. And also in the motor settings, I have no motor settings other than the auto calibration on the Ronin 4D, where on the RS2, I can then go in and adjust the stiffness of the actual motors, which can be really handy if you get shakes or jitters within your shot. You can just lower some of those settings and it'll disappear. As you just saw within the video, there's a big difference in how I work with this gimbal, the Ronin 4D, compared to the RS2. I find myself having much better posture and control over my body when I'm shooting with the Ronin 4D. And that's because the way that it's made, the way that I hold this gimbal, I can hold it closer to my body and I can have a wider posture. So I'm feeling much more upright, and I can work with this for a longer time than I can with the Ronin 2, or sorry, the DJI RS2, because I'm a bit more tucked in with the Ronin 4D to make that, to stabilize the Z-axis. So in terms of gimbal posture and working with these two gimbals, I definitely want to take the Ronin 4D any day of the week. Let's talk weight and payload of these two. Let's start with the RS2. So the setup that I have here with everything on it weighs about 4.7 kilos. If you take the gimbal only, it's about a kilo. And if we compare this to the Ronin 4D, this system right here weighs about 5.5 kilos. And that is the weight that I've weighted it here in the studio. So it could be a bit different from your setup. But then what are the payload capacity of these two? On the Ronin 4D, there isn't a payload, specific payload. The thing that you have to look at is the lens compatibility, because you can't put your own camera on here. So you have a limited amount of lenses and a limited size of lenses that you can put on this gimbal, compared to the RS2, where you can put your own camera on with your own camera system. And this one can take about 4.5 kilos fully rigged out. On the RS2, it's actually made pretty well. I love the way that it's laid out. I have the follow focus here, which are easy to reach by my finger here. All the controls are visible on the screen in the back. I can easily toggle through it. I can manage all of my settings from this touchscreen. I like that I have the ability to put a back handle on, so I could go down in underslung mode. So overall, I really like the way that the RS2 is laid out, and my ability to kind of use this gimbal and how I control it is perfectly laid out. So if we take a look at the Ronin 4D, it's a bit different, but not in a bad way. It's just a different way of doing things. You have two handles, control handles, where you can actually control most of the gimbal. If you want to change the mode, you'll have to do it on the side right down here. But else we can control focus on the focus wheel, or we can use the autofocus from the LiDAR here. You have a top handle for underslung mode, which is also different from the Ronin 4D, because you don't have to have a back handle on the Ronin 4D as you will have on the RS2. You can actually just take the camera and just take it from your normal position and then bring it down into underslung mode. So a bit different than on the RS2. I like the way that they have used the buttons on the side of the gimbal, not that much. And then I love the screen, the interface of this gimbal, how you use the camera together with the gimbal. But if you want to see my full review of the Ronin 4D, I'll link it down in the description so you can go and watch that video. When we're talking batteries, we're not just talking runtime, we're also talking how many batteries do you have to carry around to make these systems work. Let's talk about the RS2. The battery in the RS2 gives me about 6 to 8 hours of runtime, but with that said, I also need batteries for the camera, and then I also need a battery for the monitor. So I used to have 3 batteries for my camera, 2 batteries for my monitor. Then I have 2 handles. I have 1 handle, and then I have a spare battery handle so I can switch them out. So there's a lot of batteries I have to carry around with a lot of different chargers. We take the Ronin 4D, it's a different story. Again, you have one system that is fully operational by 1 battery. And this battery gives me 2 hours of full runtime on the Ronin 4D. So I can carry 2 of these and I have 4 hours of runtime. Then I only have 1 charger. So when one is dead, I can make the other charge while I'm running on this. And it takes about an hour to charge the battery. So I'll never run out of battery on this one if I have 2 batteries. The RS2 takes me about 8 to 10 minutes to set up, depending on what camera system I have on and what kind of accessories I need to put on here. But on the Ronin 4D, it's a different experience, and I like this experience much better because it takes me just under 2 minutes to set this up. And that is from taking it out of my camera bag to actually being ready to shoot. And it's so convenient that I actually take it out and pack it down much more than I do with my regular setup, because I don't have to think about cables, batteries, and all the other small parts that I have to fit on here, because everything is just on this gimbal. A huge plus for the Ronin 4D for being so easy to set up and be ready to shoot with. Alright, let's talk wireless transmission, because here's a huge difference. On the RS2 we have the Raven Eye, where you can monitor everything from your phone or an iPad. It works very well. It also allows you to track, and it's easy to set up and it's easily to use with your phone. But that's the only thing you can do with the Raven Eye. You cannot connect it to an external monitor. Compare this to the Ronin 4D, where we have a fully integrated wireless system. I will be making a full video on how I use this and how you can use this and how it works. Ronin 4D totally takes the wireless system package to a whole new level. For the RS2 we have this small pouch. I know that a lot of you guys out there love this pouch. It's super compact, it's nicely made, and you can put the Ronin 2 or the RS2 into this package. We take the Ronin 4D, it's another story. This is the big case that it comes in. Nice protective case. So compare these two, you will need much more space to pack this down than the RS2. If you're going to operate the gimbal, you will also need a camera, so this will take up space in your camera bag as well. So in the end, it kind of takes up the same space. On the RS2, there's a lot of accessories. You can see on mine I have a back handle from Ulanzi. You can get other tripod legs, you can get side handles, you can get a cage, monitor mounts, the list goes on. And there's a good reason why, because all of these accessories makes it much easier and makes the experience of using the RS2 much better. So therefore there's a lot of accessories that you can get for the RS2. Compare this to the Ronin 4D. There isn't that many accessories available, and you don't need that many accessories because you have everything integrated in this system. But I have added a couple of things, because you don't get a tripod for it. So when you set it down, you actually set it down on this plate, which I thought was pretty annoying. So I've added these tripod legs. I've also added a extension for the microphone. And then lastly, one of the things that I've added is a carrying strap system. Right now it sits on this one over here, but I used this so that I can let go of the gimbal and it's more secure when I use it. But a full video on these accessories will be coming up very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. Which one of these two gimbals are the better one? If we're talking stability only, the Ronin 4D definitely takes the first place. You cannot compete against that fourth axis that you have on the Ronin 4D. Your body cannot absorb this as good as the electronic stabilizer can. But then again said, this one is not for everyone. If you want to have your own camera system that you can take off your gimbal and shoot handheld, then the RS2 is definitely the one that you're gonna go with. But again, it's the preference of what you shoot. I really like the Ronin 4D, and I also like the RS2 for different scenarios. If you want to see my full review of the Ronin 4D, I encourage you to go and watch this video I made where I cover a lot more about this video. And in the meantime, stay creative and stay safe, and if you can, go out and shoot some dope videos. See you next time. Bye.